Hello guys. In this video I just want to do something very simple for those who have a bit of an issue understanding PHP variables or variables in general. I have I have watched in the past lots of different video tutorials and courses regarding discussing what variables are and what they do and all of that. And it's a pretty important component of programming in general. However, I did not find any videos that have like real world example to kind of like deliver the knowledge via a real world example of what can I use variables for. So this video is basically targeting those people who want more examples and more ideas on how to use variables, and this is for very beginner stage who is just getting started with PHP and programming in general. So in this video I have a simple HTML page. I'm using materialized CSS as just for designing, for just to give it a nicer look and feel for the web page. And if you're interested in learning about materialize, you can check the link in the description. However, materialize just a nice front-end framework. You can just add the CDN links for it in your HTML page in between the head, and and once you do that, you can start using some classes, like giving a color to a specific text and give it a nicer look and feel. So let's jump right to the PHP variable section. So what I want to do in this page is basically show welcome the user by name. So assuming that we know who the user is, we're gonna say welcome John if John is logged in, welcome Mike if Mike is being logged in to the page. We're gonna show his number, his balance, etc., etc. We're gonna use variables to do all of that. So first of all, what we're gonna do inside of the HTML is start PHP tags. So inside the PHP tags, what we're going to do is we're going to define variables. And to do that, we're going to use a $sign customer equals John. Okay. And phone number equals and we're going to probably need email address. And finally, balance. All right, so we have saved now the variables of each the values of each variable. So customer now equals John Doe, phone number equals the phone number, email equals this, balance equals 10,000. All right, so now even if we refresh our page, it's not going to load any of these because they're not being echoed, they're not being told to actually appear on the page. So what we're going to do is go below this and start an HTML div. Give it a container class so that it appears nicely in the page. And we're gonna give it a header too. I'm gonna say welcome, and then we want to display the customer name under the welcome, next to the welcome message. So we're gonna say welcome, and in order to make that customer name appears inside of the HTML web page, what we're gonna have to do again is to start PHP tags. And what we're going to do is say echo and customer. Okay, and then continue to our website. Okay, I'm going to save that. And what I want to do next is probably start a new line here. And what we're going to do is do an H3 tags. So as you can see here, now this says welcome John Doe to our website. So in case that name has changed in the variable, so all you need to do is, let's say we make this to Mike Doe and save that. It's gonna automatically, you don't need to change anything right here. It's gonna automatically pull that information from the variable. So now you can see welcome Mike Doe to our website. Now, what I want to do next is I want to let the customer know what's their balance. So we're going to say your balance is, again, we need, in order to use PHP variables, you must start PHP tags here and close it. So we're going to say echo balance. So we're going to say your balance is this. Save that. And what I want to do after this is probably, there you go. So I want to give kind of like a green, I want to give this a green color. So what we can do here is we can say class. Since I'm using materialized CSS, I can do something like green text. That should do it. So until that page loads, what we're going to do next is, there you go. So your balance is 10,000, and I can add a dollar sign here to make it look a bit nicer. Right. So under that, what we're going to do is again do a BR to start a new line, and then start another div to put everything, to wrap everything inside a container. And basically we're going to do a small paragraph here, and we're going to say your phone number is start PHP tags again, close it. So this is what we're doing here is we're basically using PHP inside of our HTML, and in order to do that you must have your file must be a .php file. You can put HTML inside of a PHP file without a problem, but you cannot, if the extension is .html, you cannot use PHP, so you must know that. So here we're going to echo the phone number, so you don't need to type the phone number, all you need to do is echo phone, and that should pull whatever number is assigned to the phone variable here to appear on the web page. So, and we're going to do the same thing with, I'm going to do PR again, and I'm going to say your email address is PHP echo email. Okay, and let's see how that looks. All right, there we go. As you can see here, what we can do is to make it look like this is kind of like the profile. So we can do something here like this and say customer information. Say that. And what I want to add is another variable here. Call it customer ID equals, just give it some number, and okay. Your ID is, and echo the customer I'm going to do this an H4 because the balance is also an H3, so it doesn't look so nice. And we're going to remove this BR right here to put these closer together. And what I want to do also is, I think we should make the balance smaller. So what I'm going to do is use an H6, save that. And instead of doing a break line here, we can do something like an HR, so it kind of looks a bit better. Oops, sorry about that, guys. There you go. And okay. So I'm just trying to show you how to use variables in real life examples, because we don't want to do something like where variable number 1 plus number 2 equals number 3, etc., etc. So as you can see here, this is starting to look a bit better. So a customer can see his ID, a customer can see his email, a customer can see his phone number, and this is all coming from a variable. It's not hard-coded into HTML, so anything that changes in the variable in one place, it will change everywhere else where that variable is used. So what you can apply this for, let's say you have a web page and you have your customer service number, your company customer service number. So we can do customer service number equals 1-800-764 7097. Okay, and that's because we're using some special characters. I'll put that into some columns. And here, whenever you want to display the customer service number, your support number, you can just do literally just echo that CS number variable into hundreds of pages, and then whenever that number changes, you don't want to go into hundreds of pages in order to change that number. You can change it in the variable here, and it will change everywhere else where that variable is used. So even if you're building a very small website, I would highly recommend that you throw in some PHP variables and kind of automate these kind of stuff, because you don't want to be changing a single phone number into hundreds of pages, or even multiple pages. It just doesn't make sense. So here what I want to do is, under that PHP variable tutorial, is I'm going to do a small tag here and display that phone number. So I'm going to echo the customer service number. Okay, so I'm going to do PHP echo CS number, customer service number. Okay, and close the tags. Okay, and I want to say call that number we're echoing for more information. Okay, sorry, I can't type, my hands are frozen today. So anyways, there you go. Let's see how that looks. Oops, something is wrong. What happened here? Echo CS number. Let's see. Says that CS underscore number is an undefined variable. Okay, let's try that again. The reason for that is because that variable is added below below the line where we're using that. So what makes sense is to actually have those variables on the top here. So we can do something like this. That should solve the problem. Nope. else I'm missing? Echo CS number. Okay. And all right, so I think that should be fine now. There you go. And gonna do a break line. Okay. There you go. And let's give this some other text color. So I'm going to do class black text. There you go. So there you go. We're using that variable for customer service, and it's appearing here. And we're using the customer name variable here, and the balance is appearing here. So whenever, let's say that the customer makes purchases some stuff on your website, and now their balance is 8,000. So once that, there you go. Once that variable value changes, whenever that page reloads or refreshes, it's going to immediately show an update here. So that's what happens when your bank, when you go into your bank and you see some money, and then you click on transfer, and then you submit the payment, and then the variable balance is basically, instead of having a static balance like this, is going to be like an SQL query where it's going to a database, something like this, where it's going to a database and doing select balance from customers where ID customer equals, let's say, your ID here. So what happens here is basically it goes to the database and it pulls whatever the balance is here. So, but we're not getting into that here in this video. I'm just showing you how to use variables into real life examples. So I'm going to go back here and make it 8,000, okay? So under that, your balance is 8,000. What I want to do here, just real quick, to also add a button that's going to say transfer, for example. So what we can do here is say input type button. Or you know what, let's use the materialize. Let's see if that page opens. We can use that button documentation here. To show a really nice button on under the balance, so we can okay, so I like this one here. Okay, so this one has as well. No, we don't want to use that one. So as you can see, there's so many different types of buttons and effects that you can use with materialize. So I want to use let's just use this one real quick here. Okay, and we're going to say transfer money, okay? And go here. Okay, that's not showing the right stuff here. Oh, let's use this one instead. Submit. And instead of send, we're going to say transfer. There you go. Why does it say submit here? Okay. So this is just an icon right here. Send icon. This is not the, okay. So this is going to show just the icon, and here we're going to use transfer funds. Just like something you would see on your bank account. Okay, I'm going to remove this icon as well here. Okay, there you go. So I can make this button larger, for example, large. Let's see here. There you go. So that's what these kind of stuff that I'm doing here is basically um, because of materialized CSS. I highly recommend you look into that. It's a very beautiful CSS or front end framework for developers to play around with that. So you can you can make some nice effects and nice buttons and grids and everything with that. So what we have here so far is we have a simple HTML web page. We're using different variables to show them in the page where you know, where it makes sense. Whereas like, all right, what do I do with these variables and these numbers? So this is just a simple example of how you can utilize variables into your web application. So that's pretty much it for now. This is the first time we do videos on programming subjects related to like not related to telecom stuff, but we wanted to do this um, and see how that goes and if many people benefit from it or not. So I hope you guys like it, and if you do, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you.